Brock Lesnar is already getting called out again in WWE, so we'll see what's going on there. We'll also see what Bianca Belair is saying about her return to NXT, a big change for the Money in the Bank event, and much more. Let's start things off with this brief but major update for Money in the Bank Premium Live event. One big major change for this year's Money in the Bank event was that it was going to be another massive stadium show. It was set to take place at Allegiant Stadium, home of the NFL's Las Vegas Raiders and the home of SummerSlam 2021. WWE even shot a commercial with Cody Rhodes inside of Allegiant Stadium, promoting that the event was taking place in a big football stadium for the first time ever. It was going to be interesting to see another big stadium show added to WWE's schedule, but apparently Allegiant Stadium will no longer be the home for Money in the Bank 2022. WWE has sent out emails to those individuals who had previously purchased tickets for Allegiant Stadium to inform them that the event has now been moved to MGM Grand Garden Arena, which is also in Nevada. So, still the same local area, they're just moving the event to an extremely smaller venue. From almost taking place at a football stadium to now taking place to an ordinary venue, which holds 17,000 at max capacity. No one knows exactly why the event is moving. Rumor is that this move to a smaller arena is reportedly due to low ticket sales for the event. But reports claim that there could be another reason as well. So maybe when they figured out that Allegiant Stadium was not going to be close to selling out and looking full for the presentation, they decided to move things to a smaller venue. However, that doesn't mean that all stadium shows are gone. There's still two major stadium shows coming up over the next few months. SummerSlam and Clash at the Castle are both set to be big stadium shows with a near WrestleMania-sized crowd. The reports say that the turnout for SummerSlam and Clash at the Castle may play a big role in WWE deciding the future for more stadium shows per year. It used to be pretty much just WrestleMania that was the only big stadium show, but now WWE is making stadium shows with Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, Clash, and they attempted it obviously with Money in the Bank, but that didn't turn out to be the way they expected it to. So it is a bit unfortunate. Huge stadium shows are always more exciting because you get more fans in the arena, louder reactions, but it looks like the Money in the Bank wasn't going to get the turnout that they wanted. When you think of great and recent homegrown talent to come out of WWE Performance Center, one of those names you have to mention is Bianca Belair. Bianca wasn't grinding out in the wrestling indies during her early career. She actually never stepped foot inside a ring until she was signed with WWE at age 27 and was a full product of WWE. And in just a few years, Bianca Belair was on NXT, called up to the main roster, and then main eventing WrestleMania. So the Performance Center made a mega star there with Bianca Belair. Bianca had nothing but historically great success on the main roster, consecutive wins for championships at back-to-back WrestleMania, beating WWE's top stars like Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, Bayley, and more. But one place that Bianca Belair was never able to make it to the top was at NXT, and this is definitely not a new trend. We've seen this plenty of times before. Superstars won't get that much attention in NXT, won't capture any titles in NXT, but they go to the main roster and become huge mega stars. Just like Becky Lynch and Alexa Bliss, both of them never made it to the top of the women's division in NXT, but they accomplished everything on the main roster. Bianca Belair is the latest to fall into that category, tons of main roster success, but never captured that NXT women's title. Bianca Belair recently spoke with VL Media and talked about the interest in returning to NXT. She had this to say, quote, "I've never won the NXT Women's Championship. It was quite a complicated thing to do at the time. I saw that Natalya was currently there. Natalya is a legend in this medium. It was great to see her wrestle in NXT 2.0 with these younger wrestlers. This isn't the first time she's wrestled in NXT. As far as I'm concerned, NXT is where I learned it all. I didn't know anything about wrestling when I arrived. I started at 27 years old with no experience in the ring. NXT is my home. It would be nice to be able to come back there to face these younger wrestlers. I've always loved Yo and had the chance to wrestle her when I was in NXT. I'm seeing Amari Miller. I love her. She's so passionate. I don't know if I've ever met someone with as much passion as her. I also really appreciate the rivalry between Nikita Lyons and Lash Legend. They have a cool and fresh thing going on." End quote. So what Bianca is after there with wanting to return to NXT is very possible. Like we've been saying, there's always at least one active storyline in NXT nowadays that contains a main roster superstar. That's something that they've been seeing a lot with the newer version of NXT. They've been having some main roster superstars appear on NXT and have those short feuds with some of the upcoming talent. Natalya was one of the most recent guesses on NXT, so who's to say that Bianca Belair can't make a return appearance down the line? Like Bianca said, she really didn't have that much experience during her first NXT run, so she wants to head back over there, redeem herself for that first run, pick up a few wins, and it even sounded like she would be interested in trying to go after the NXT Women's title. If Mandy Rose is still champion by the time Bianca returns to NXT, a Mandy Rose versus Bianca Belair match does sound pretty intriguing. You have Mandy at the top of her game, and Bianca on a hot streak herself, so it would be interesting to see those two collide. Brock Lesnar's WWE future is an uncertain one right now because the biggest issue for when it comes to Brock is that you have to have a worthy enough opponent and story for him. Like Brock said before, he needs to be fully invested in his opponent and the story before he can even entertain the pitch from WWE. Brock was obviously loving his story with Roman Reigns. He's very fond of Roman Reigns, and that's why he agreed to the WrestleMania 38 story. But where does Brock go from here? Is there another worthy opponent out there besides Roman Reigns? The answer is yes, Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley recently appeared on the bump and already put it out there that he wants Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 39. Lashley had this to say, quote, "We're in LA next year, right, for WrestleMania? If we're in Hollywood, it's a big matchup. For me, I've always had these really tough challengers going into WrestleMania, which, of course, this one, it has to be another big one. Me and Brock Lesnar, we still have a little score to settle. I have a win over him, and then he ended up winning my title back, but we're not done. We're not done." End quote. And Lashley brings up a great point. Lashley and Lesnar's first match ended in some controversy after Roman assisted Bobby Lashley in the win over Brock Lesnar. Then their second meeting was the Elimination Chamber, but Lashley was written out of the match early on, and Lesnar ended up picking up the title. So in general matches with each other, they're both tied with one apiece. But head-to-head, Lashley has the lead 1-0. So hopefully this is something WWE considers for WrestleMania 39 because it would be great to see them go at it again with no outside interference this time around. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.